Hey folks, John Peterson here, and I just returned from Katmai National Park where I led a workshop to photograph grizzly bears. And we spent about a week up there flying into the grizzly bear locations, shooting all day, flying back to our lodge. And each night I downloaded my images and did a backup to them. And this trip, though, I brought a new product that I wanted to give a field test to. And that product is the Station PC PocketCloud. And if you haven't seen my first video on this new product, check it out up here. Essentially what this is a solid state drive that gives you the ability to back up your photo image cards without the need of a computer or a tablet or anything like that. There's a real slick and easy way to do that and then review your photographs on your phone or your tablet, whatever you might have as a portable electronic device. And, flying to Alaska, I was fortunate enough that I had enough weight capability to bring my laptop and my external hard drives, but I wanted to bring this as well and give it a real world test and really look at the speed between using this versus using a laptop and a hard drive, and really just how would it perform day in and day out when I'm backing up hundreds and sometimes thousands of photographs that I took during this workshop. And especially when I take wildlife photographs, I tend to take a lot more photographs than I do when I shoot landscapes. And so I had a lot of images to go into this drive. And I was part of the initial Kickstarter campaign where I had a 2 terabyte SSD installed into this. And today you can buy this without memory, and you can install your own memory. It's real easy to do. You just slip the cover off, plug in an SSD card or an SSD memory module, and then you're good to go. So let's jump into this and talk about how this performed on the trip. Before we jump into how this performed, I wanted to show you the one accessory that I bought. At the time of Kickstarter, when I did that, I did not choose to buy the dock or any of the accessories. But once I got this device and looked at it, I figured I wanted a little bit of protection for it because it looks really nice. And so what I did is I ordered up one of their silicone guards or cases for the PocketCloud. And really this is just a 2-part silicone device that slips over the outside of your Station PC PocketCloud and protects it from just a little bit of wear and tear and shock. So all you need to do is just slip your device into the silicone guard, real easy, and they've designed this extremely well. I'm quite happy with the fit and finish and construction of this. And it's got a cutout on both sides for the cooling fan exhaust coming out, which is nice. And then the front part just slips over the top of this. You still have access to the button in the screen if you wanted to see charging or storage amounts, that kind of stuff. Comes with a handy silicone lanyard. But this is just one of those devices I thought I would buy just to protect my investment in this PocketCloud NAS. So let's talk a little bit about performance. And so every night when we got back to the lodge, I would grab the memory cards out of my camera and I would go sit down at the table and begin the backup process. And that's one of the first things that I do on every shoot is I get the backup started because I want to make sure that I have one, if not 2, backups depending on the workshop. I don't want to lose any images. So what I did is I would take my particularly raw cards. I shoot raw on one card and JPEG on the other card. And I really wanted to back up my raw files. So I took my raw card and I plugged it into my computer with a Samsung T5 SSD attached to it. Did a backup of that. And then I took that same card and plugged it into the SD slot right here and started the SD card backup. Now, some of you may wonder about, well, how fast was it? How slow was it? And honestly, time and speed isn't critical to me because I have hours in the evening to do a backup. But I will say that with my MacBook Pro and a Samsung T5 SSD, the time that it took to back up that was equal to, or this was equal to, backing up to my computer. So I didn't actually time this out, but the times were very, very similar. There's nothing onerous or complicated about doing this backup. And it worked. It worked just as advertised, which which is funny because there's not a lot to say about something that works as it's supposed to. Plug in your card, select SD card backup, hit start, and it goes. And you see the status bar going across the screen, and that's all there is to it. And I was safe in assuming that the backup was there. But I also connected this to my MacBook just to validate that the backup happened, and I wanted to see what it looked like because this is still a new product to me. So every night I would just do a new backup into this drive, and along with my SSD connected to my MacBook, and I knew that I had 2 external backups of my images plus the images that were still on my memory card. So let's jump in onto the computer and take a look at what these backups look like. And, I've gotten a couple of questions since I posted that first video about, will the device separate my GoPro from my drone, from my Osmo, from my camera? And the way the logic works on this device, it's really by date and by memory card. And I'll show you what this looks like in the system. I've connected the station PC to my desktop iMac and selected the USB drive mode for this device to be in. And then let's take a look at the Finder window. Okay, here I am with the drive connected to my computer. And how it shows up on my computer is this PC drive, which is an interesting name. And now that I know what it's called, it doesn't bother me, but I just thought that was sort of an interesting name. And the computer sees this as an external drive, just like any of my other external drives that I have connected. So when I click into the PC drive, this is the folder structure that I see. It came preloaded with documents, downloads, musics, my backup pictures and videos. And because this is designed to be a network attached storage device, when you put it in the dock and connect it to your network, it came with this folder structure and with a lot of functionality built around being a data hub for your network. For me, and what I'm concerned about, it was really about the backups. And so let's double click into my backup and see what this looks like. So here's all the backups that have happened on my trip to Alaska. And it's a little bit interesting to see because it comes, really what these are identified by the cards. So it's a Lexar 128, a Phison 64 gig. I've since learned that it was one of my pro grade memory cards. So I've got this sort of interesting assortment. And then notice that I also have dates. So I can start to see when the backups were done. You can see I missed the 27th, but I can start to discern which backups were which. Then this last one, I'll get into this here in a little bit, but this is from a USB drive backup of my GoPro and my Pocket Osmo. But let me just double click into any one of these, and you can see now this is what the folder structure that I see on my camera memory card right when I pull it out. So I shoot Fuji, there it is, and then there's all my files that are stored in this drive. All right, so you saw a little bit of what the folder structure looks like inside of this drive. And for me, what I'm most concerned about is that I just did a successful backup of all of my images. This is not my primary working space. I don't need to understand 100% all of the nuances of the memory cards, like the naming of them. But I just know that I have this redundant backup that's going to keep my images safe. Now, one of the things you might be asking yourself is, well, I've got a drone, I've got a GoPro, I've got a Pocket Osmo, I've got something else some other device that uses a memory card different than an SD card. And let me show you the way that I found to back up these micro SD cards in the Station PC PocketCloud NAS. All right, let's take a look at how we could back up a micro SD card. Now on the PocketCloud, there's 3 essential modes for this unit. Number 1 is an SD card backup, where you plug an SD card into the memory slot. One is a USB drive backup, and the other one is a USB drive mode. The USB drive mode is what I use to connect the Station Pocket PC to my computer using the USB-C. The USB drive backup is really designed for backing up from a USB memory stick if you have one, or in my case, I have this wonderful little adapter for my micro SD cards, and it uses a USB-A or USB-C. Now, the Pocket PC, the USB-C, as near as I've been able to tell, is really for data and charging. This USB-A is what's connected to the USB drive backup. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So all I need to do is plug my SD card, and I assume that if you had a compact flash card and a drive adapter like this, you would be able to do the same thing. But I take my SD card adapter and I plug it into the USB-A. All right, there we go. Plug it into the USB-A. I'll hit yes, I want to do a USB drive. It recognizes the card, and I'll say backup, and it goes through and does its job. And since I've already backed up this card, it didn't take long. But that is a real easy way to go ahead and back up micro SD cards, compact flash cards, whatever you have that has a USB-A attachment. Now, when I got back from Alaska, I figured out how to back it up via the USB drive mode. And then I backed up both my GoPro and my DJI Pocket Osmo. And both of those are registering as coming from this device, the USB. So when I click into this, I see a DCIM folder, a bunch of stuff I don't know what's going on with. And then I see 2 folders. I see GoPro and I see media. So when I double click into the GoPro folder, I see all my GoPro files that backed up from that micro SD card. Then conversely, when I go into the 100 media folder, I see all my DJI files and folders and videos and all that stuff that I shot on my Pocket Osmo. So what it did is it put 2 different folders inside this DCIM folder for both of my 2 different memory cards that all came via this USB adapter. A little bit hard to figure out, but in the end, I know that I had all of my images safe and sound. So what do I think after my first real-world test of the PocketCloud NAS as a portable backup solution? I would say 2 thumbs up. This thing performed extremely well. It's compact, it's relatively lightweight, and it most importantly did what it was supposed to do, which was give me sequential backups of each of my memory cards, and I know that they're safe and sound stored within this device. Plus, it gave me the option and the possibility to download and back up all of my micro SD cards, which is great. All in all, the folder structure is something that I can live with. It's not the most intuitive, but it is something that once I do this once or twice, it's going to be really intuitive and easy to use. I love the new silicone guard that I got for this and feel more confident throwing it around and taking it out and about. Granted, this is not a shockproof, waterproof type of enclosure, but it's just enough to keep the scrapes and scuffs and any little slight damages away from the device. So overall, I'm still extremely happy with this and really glad that I bought it for those times where I cannot bring a laptop and external hard drive to do image backup. So if you're looking for a device like this one is still in the running for me. I think it's still a great solution. So check it out. And again, I'm not affiliated with this company at all. I'm just a consumer. Thought I'd share my thoughts with you, and because I know a lot of photographers are looking for a solution like this, and so yeah, there you go. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tickle the bell, get notifications, do all that kind of good stuff. Helps this channel and helps me create more, keep creating more videos for you guys. So thanks for watching. Have a great day and happy shooting. Bye-bye.